pending, but markets at 5400. So let's get you some market opinion on whether this level is going to be psychologically and technically very important for the markets. Deven Choksey of Choksey Securities joins us. Deven, at 5400, we have found support at that level on previous occasions in the past 2 or 3 months. Do you think it will hold?
A good question, Lata. I think this has been, a problem area for last so many months now. I think this particular level, if it is breaking decisively, then in my viewpoint, I think a lot of technicals would probably, start triggering into the stop losses, and that could probably bring the market down. As such, I think we don't see too much of a participation in the market. Neither do we see any further or very substantial long positions in the market. So to a certain extent, I think if this particular level breaks, I think it may invite some of the bad traders into the market and probably make an attempt to bring the market down. So that could be one possibility technically. Fundamentally, I don't think beyond the point the sentiments are nervous. So I don't think that anything is going nervous fundamentally, but technically it could be.
No, FII selling in May has never been a surprise. The old adage, sell in May and go away, has been dogging our markets. Would you say that at some point you become a buyer? For instance, there is that one positive that if commodity prices globally are falling, and they are, many of them are about 20% off their recent highs. When will you turn a buyer, and in what counters?
Again, I think it's a point which one will have to take individually on a stock-to-stock specific basis, and I would be more comfortable talking on individual stocks vis-a-vis the market.
Okay.
Because quite possible that you may see the kind of impact of falling commodity prices, I think, post 2 quarters of this financial year into the workings of the company. But some of the individual companies may probably would have a larger impact because of the positions in which they are selling through. So I think individually, I think couple of counters or companies would certainly, catch your eyes, and you would probably, start looking at those companies from investment point of view.
Deven, hi, afternoon. What really led to this sudden sell-off that we saw in the market? Is it that the technical sell-off we're seeing in Asia has infused some fresh sort of nervousness in markets like ours?
I don't think that beyond the point we are going to be buying influences from other markets of the world. Probably our own markets are having the nervous sentiments continuing. The buying is not emerging. We have got 2 events coming up this week. One is, of course, the expiry of the contract for the month of May. And the second event is EJOM meeting, which is basically, going to be deciding the course of action for the oil prices and the oil product prices going forward. So I think people are taking advantage of this situation. When the buying is not taking place, the bear hammering to a certain extent is taken place at this point of time, and that's where we see the fall in the market. But if that particular thing is true, then probably I think people would not like to get caught on the wrong-footed kind of a measure. They may not go short even significantly. They may probably cover the shorts relatively quickly. So you may probably see the buying emerging also at 53.50 kind of a level, if it has fallen at this level.
Okay, just one word on the ONGC stock as well, Deven. Last week when we saw that big crackdown, a lot of analysts had indicated that perhaps the news has already been priced in, this higher subsidy sharing mechanism. Today the stock has tanked another 3-odd%. How would you read it now, the movement of the stock from here on?
I think this is the point. I think many of the investors with whom you speak to, they feel very uncomfortable that how can a listed company stock, be treated by the government in this manner? How can a government increase ad hoc, subsidy burdens on a company which is already listed and owned by many others? So these are some of the points which are being asked now at this point of time, and many people feel that it is not justified on the part of the government to bring any of their companies listed if they want to play around with this. So it is going to create a negative sentiment, a negative set of examples into the market, and which is going to be a sad affair if this is not arrested at such point of time, or maybe at this point of time.
All right, Deven, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us with your quick take on the market. So 5400 is what Deven says he also will watch out for very closely. And there are global forces at work, so it will be something which can't be decided by the internals of just our market alone, but at the moment it's looking genuinely eerie at 5395.